Have you ever heard about Reiki? Have you ever wondered what Reiki is? My name's Emily Celis and I am the host for the S.A.G.E Holistic Show. I'm also the founder of S.A.G.E and I teach the Reiki training and certification program. So today I am very excited to share with all of you what Reiki is, what a Reiki session looks like, even a little bit about the history of where Reiki comes from. I also share a little bit about my own personal experience, which I love sharing. So I hope that you'll join me and I look forward to talking with you more. S.A.G.E is a 501c3 nonprofit organization building community by providing education and counseling about physical, mental, and spiritual well-being. We encourage all of our listeners to find their own path to what holistic wellness means to you. Hi, I'm Emily Celis, and I am the Executive Director and Co-Founder at S.A.G.E Holistic Health and Wellness Center. And among the hats that I wear here at S.A.G.E, I am a licensed marriage and family therapist. I do a lot of individual work with people, depth-oriented psychotherapy, and I'm also a Reiki Master and Reiki teacher. So one of the things that I wanted to talk about today is Reiki and what is Reiki, and kind of trying to answer some of those questions that some of you might have who've never heard of Reiki or who have never experienced Reiki. Or maybe you have experienced Reiki and you're trying to figure out what the heck you were experiencing. So hopefully today's episode can help answer some of those questions for you and shed some light. First of all, I wanted to share a little bit about my experience with Reiki and how I came to be a Reiki Master, which means Reiki teacher. It began quite some time ago, back in 2008, when I began on my spiritual journey, seeking different methods and different ways. This was after a really difficult period of time. A lifelong love of mine was the religion that I was brought up in, and when that became something that I could no longer hold on to and believe in, I really felt empty, and I really felt like I needed to find something that could satisfy and satiate the spiritual searching and seeking that had always been an integral part of who I was as a person. So when I found my Reiki Master, Ann Reith, who is a lovely person, I actually found her through a graduate school homework assignment where I had to go and interview someone out in the industry that did something that I was interested in. So here I found Ann Reith, who was a psychologist who had been a tenured professor in multiple colleges. So that's where she is, and I very highly recommend her classes because there's so many offerings that she has that really focus in on a spiritual approach, a metaphysical approach to seeking. And the thing that I loved so much about Anne, which is what I really needed at the time, was permission to explore at my own pace, permission to not agree, permission to experience for myself, and that is something that just still stands as a strong foundation for me as I have rebuilt my life after what was a very difficult time around my faith crisis. So that kind of leads me to when I began taking her Reiki classes. So I took Reiki level 1 and eventually went through the 4 different classes that she offered to become a Reiki Master and teacher. And when I first started the process, I never thought in a million years that I would be doing this, but it is definitely something I have found a lot of joy in doing. And it's just a tremendous experience to teach this to students who then are able to feel this energy and experience it in their life for themselves, and then also just the lives of all those that they go out to share this with. So it provides meaning for me on so many levels. And in my Reiki level 1 class that I teach at S.A.G.E, about every 1 to 3 months is about how often I teach Reiki level 1. It's quite an in-depth class, and it is 7.5 hours. I know, right? It's a very, very long class, but it's full of good information, and I love teaching this class because it is quite educational. And not only do you get the lecture portion where you're learning all about what energy is, you're learning about the energy centers of the body. There's a lot that we cover. You can find a list of all of the things on the website. if you're interested in learning more about that. But we also give time to practice, where you get to, after you've been attuned to the energy, you're able to practice utilizing that. So I'll talk a little bit about what I mean by all of that, by attunements and such. But basically, with Reiki, what this is it's considered to be a very ancient technique, something that's been around for a really long time. It was credited to Dr. Usui to have rediscovered this in Japan in the early 1900s. But there's a lot of people who believe that this has been around long before that. And the way that Reiki came from Japan to the Western world was through Mrs. Hawayo Takata. So there's the lineage, there's a lot of information in the history there. Some of it is controversial in nature as far as, what the facts were, but there is a basic understanding of how Reiki came to be. So what does Reiki even mean? How do you say Reiki? You'll hear different people pronounce it different ways. So Rei is the first part of that, R-E-I, and the second part of it is Ki, K-I. So Rei stands for universal, it stands for sun, it stands for God, whatever word you want to use, source, spirit. And Ki stands for Chi, which is also known as energy. So when you're putting those two things together, you get universal life force energy, which is a pretty direct translation. So what Reiki is meant to do, if you know about what the 7 major chakra centers are of the body, it's believed by science, and this is something that has been shown for anything that is living, that we have energy that emanates from our bodies. It's not only contained within our bodies, this energy and matter that's constantly moving, constantly vibrating, but it also emanates outside of our body. Some people will refer to that as an energy field. Some people will refer to it as an aura. And what that means is that we don't just stop at where our skin is. We continue going. And so there's going to be different feelings and experiences that you get that you're picking up in your energy field as well. And so what typically happens with this energy, the idea of energy, I'm going to just kind of lay it out on a continuum for you. If you've got one end over here that you have a very high vibrating energy, which is when someone is feeling happy, when they're feeling positive, when they're feeling healthy, when they're feeling like things are going well. And then bloop, 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 all the way down to here, where you've got really low energy, very slow energy. You're feeling sick, you're feeling stressed, you're feeling overwhelmed, you're feeling really, really down. So it's a continuum. So you've got all these different places from high to low. And we all have the capacity to move around in those places. And so with those different vibrations of energy, we have these energy centers where energy tends to culminate in our bodies. And so there's a representation, the root chakra, the sacral chakra, solar plexus chakra, the heart chakra, the throat chakra, the third eye, and the crown chakra at the top. Those are kind of a visual representation of where those energy centers are. And due to stress and illness and all of these things that happen to all of us, our energy centers are going to become clouded up, they're going to become stagnant, they're going to become blocked. There's going to be, just imbalances that happen in our energy. And so the idea for Reiki is to have an outside source that can come to you. So that would be a practitioner. And what that practitioner is going to do is they're going to channel universal life force energy, or God's energy, or spirit, or source's energy. And it's a method that they are taught how to do, and they're able to channel that and translate that energy to your energy field so that it can be utilized to clear out blockages, to clear out this stagnant energy, and then to also input higher vibrating energy. Just imagine like as bright of white light as you can imagine, just that energy coming in and clearing out the cobwebs or clearing out the darker spaces. And that's a visual idea or imagery about what Reiki really does. Now, is Reiki going to be something that is going to be a cure-all? I think no. Reiki is definitely something that is complementary. I'm not going to ever underestimate what Reiki can do. There certainly are a lot of stories that are wonderful to hear about as far as people's experiences. And that goes from any living thing, whether it's humans, whether it's animals, whether it's plants. I mean, there's a lot of really neat things that that you can hear about, and not just hear about, but experience for yourself when you are someone who's attuned to the Reiki energy. So that is the whole purpose of Reiki, is to help, for someone to be able to help another person to clear out those energy centers. And it's also something that you can utilize on yourself. It's not just something that gets translated to another person. You're able to channel that energy through your own body and utilize that to self-heal as well. So if this was a live, I would ask for questions, but I definitely want to answer any questions that you might have. So if you do at this point, please just go ahead and put it in the comments below, and I would be happy to respond to that. Some of the benefits of Reiki and how Reiki can be used. And again, it's not a guarantee. We are not medical physicians, and we are not able to provide that type of, we're not under the medical board, and we're not under that type of licensure. So I do want to make that really clear. So the benefits of Reiki and how Reiki can actually be utilized is in physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual healing. It really can be utilized to alleviate a lot of symptoms that people experience, whether it's physical discomfort, spiritual discomfort, emotional or mental discomfort. And like I've explained, what we're trying to do is to clear out some of those blockages, to clear out some of that stress or that lower vibrating energy, and to increase the vibrational rate of the person who's receiving the Reiki, whether it's another person or whether it's yourself, if you're giving Reiki to yourself. So some people have reported that Reiki helps improve sleep, improve memory, increase optimism and hope, increase spiritual growth, stopping bleeding, slowing bleeding, decrease stomach and intestinal upset, increase effectiveness of traditional medicine and psychiatric treatment to reduce side effects of medical treatment, such as in someone who has cancer and has to go through chemotherapy, or someone who is coming out of anesthesia after a surgery. So there are lots of ways that Reiki has been reported to be helpful to people. And all across the nation here in the United States, Reiki is utilized in many, many hospitals. And so that's just a wonderful thing to see, that people are willing to try something. And again, you don't know until you try yourself whether or not it's something that's going to be helpful for you. So what does a Reiki healing session look like? If you were going to call one of our Reiki practitioners and schedule a Reiki session, what would that look like? First of all, you would have a little bit of paperwork. That would be something that we are legally required to do, and also just informs you of what a Reiki session is, what the practitioner's level of training is, and what they are going to be helping you with during the session. So a little bit of talking at the beginning about what your expectations are, any questions that you have about Reiki. And then there's a massage table that you will climb up on, and you will stay fully clothed. So we practice a hands-off Reiki healing here at S.A.G.E. And so that is something that you can expect, is that we're not going to be touching your body, but we are going to be putting our hands above your body in different locations throughout your body, because these energy centers and energy is running through not only the chakras, but also meridians, which are like kind of the streams of energy that flows up and down and out our bodies in all different ways. So you're welcome to keep your eyes open during the session if you're concerned about where we are, what we're doing, if you're just curious. And what you would see is a lot of hand movements, kind of removing energy, putting energy in. Everyone kind of operates in a different way when they're doing that, and kind of just following the guidance of what is needed to be done for that healing session. But yes, typically the Reiki practitioner is going to be moving around the massage table while they are administering this Reiki healing energy to you. So that is what you would expect at the end of the session. You'll be told the session is complete. Slowly get up. It is similar to an actual physical massage in that a lot has been moved around. So usually you'll be given a glass of water or maybe a cup of hot tea, and then you'll just have a little quick debriefing about the session, giving you an opportunity to discuss with your practitioner what you experienced during the healing session. Sometimes people will have flashes of memory. They'll have physical sensations that people will report as feeling tingling, warmth, heat, a pulling sensation. This is all feedback that your body's giving you for where the places in your body that energy was moving around and being released or being added in. So those are things that you can start to pay attention to and become aware of. And that's part of the experience of Reiki, which is a really wonderful opportunity that you have to grow in that experience with yourself and start to trust your own body's experience, and not just your body, but also kind of the more intangible experience that you can have in life sometimes, of when emotions or memories or thoughts and things like that come to you, sometimes in a flood. But that is what you can expect in a Reiki session. What about religion? How does this come up, or can Reiki ever be harmful? These are sometimes questions that I've been asked. Reiki can never be harmful. I mean, Reiki is something that I like to consider as active praying. For those of you who have prayed or who have meditated, gone into silence, it's very similar to that. However, if someone expressed to you as a Reiki practitioner that they did not want to receive Reiki, and you went ahead and did that anyway, I don't know if I'd use the word harmful, but it certainly is not something that would be considered ethical, because you do want to honor people's boundaries and what it is that they're wanting to experience in this life. So Reiki is not a religion. It's a practice that can be utilized to deepen your spirituality, and it can help you to create a practice, like a tangible ritual that you have in your life, and also a reverence in your life for the sacred life energy force that we all are a part of by being alive. And so that is something that I think is absolutely true for Reiki in my life. It's something that I utilize, if not every day, absolutely multiple times a week, not only with myself, with my family. I utilize it to, you can use it to clear energetic spaces, so buildings or offices and places like that. And so that is something that I utilize quite often. So what is it like to be trained in Reiki? As I had mentioned briefly before, there's 4 different levels that I teach here at S.A.G.E Holistic Health and Wellness Center. First level, Reiki 1, is a basics, and it's, like I said, it's a long one, but they all follow kind of the same format. It's a one-time workshop for each level, is the way that I teach it, and it is a longer day, but you're able to walk away with a lot of information and knowledge and skills that you can begin using right away. After the first class, and the reason that it's taught this way, that it has so much, it's very information heavy. There's a lot more lecture in the first class than in the other classes that follow. And that's because if someone were to choose to not take any of the other levels of Reiki, which would be completely fine to do, at least you have the basic level of knowledge and training and understanding about Reiki, what it is and how to use it in an ethical and even a legal way, if you're going to be doing that professionally, making sure that you have the appropriate forms and all of that. All of that is covered in Reiki Level 1. And again, you don't have to use this professionally. Like I've said, I have had students that have taken this class for many reasons. Some people just want to have this be a way that they can tap into their own spirituality. They don't have any intentions of even utilizing Reiki for other people. So it can be a personal growth option. It can also be something that you're wanting to utilize in relationship with other people, just for your family or your friends. And then other people aspire to really kind of go deeper into using their knowledge and their skills to have this be part of their career. And I mean go deeper in that they're going to incorporate something personal into their professional life and kind of do both of those things in the same. So I invite any questions that you have about Reiki. I feel that when I first started down this path, like I had mentioned before, I was really seeking. I wanted something. I really, really did. But I was also extremely skeptical. And every step of the way, I was questioning, I was asking, I was wondering, I wasn't sure. I was trying to prove it wrong, all of these sorts of things that I'm sure many of you go through. And I honestly think being skeptical is a very healthy thing. It's a great thing to ask questions, and it's a great thing to wonder about certain things and want to know for yourself. And I encourage that, and I encourage questions, and I encourage for you to know what's right for you, whether it's Reiki or something else. And Reiki is just one of those things that feels very universal, where you can utilize this in so many avenues of your life. And I would love to have you in one of our classes. Take a look at our website, www.sagewellnessctr.org, to find out when we'll be holding our next Reiki Level 1 training and certification class, and we would love to have you. So take good care and make sure to put any questions below and hit the subscribe button if you haven't already, or follow us, and we look forward to bringing you more information about holistic health and wellness topics. Thank you for spending some of your time today with us at S.A.G.E Holistic Health and Wellness Center. If you like what we're all about, please consider supporting our nonprofit organization by making a tax-deductible donation. To do this, you can go to our website at www.sagewellnessctr.org and click on Donate in the upper right-hand corner. We look forward to spending some time again with you real soon. Take good care.